just sat on my bed. I'm going to share some things with you that if you're interested in astrology and if you like to guess people's signs, that this may help you. It's what I do every weekend. I don't watch TV during the week, but sometimes the weekend I catch a few music videos and bits and bobs and maybe watch a film, yeah. And I try and guess people's astrology signs. And when you're looking at people's signs, what you tend to pick up is either their ascendant, their sun, or their moon, because that is basically what is expressing their physical features, or is in their physical features, which can be their figure as well, or how they're built. Sometimes you can get the ascendant ruler, whatever sign that falls into, you may be picking up that too. If you're not too sure about it, I think it's always a good place to start with trying to guess the elements, whether it's earth or air or water or fire. And there are certain things you can keep your eyes out or try and guess these type of things. So the first person I'm going to look at with you is Aretha Franklin. She was on TV singing her little heart out, young as well, so she looked like this. And I thought, she's water. She's got to be water because of the roundness of her face. And I know that when people are young, their faces are rounder. And this, again, sounds almost like it's ridiculous. You've literally got more water in your face. When, you know, with women and men, they can tend to be a little bit more estrogenic. So it can demasculise a man in some way, or the jaw's a little bit softer, I suppose. But women, it can just tend to look youthful, rounded, and more voluptuous, I suppose. So she is Scorpio rising, water, and Cancer moon. So I thought, yeah, and I can see that. Straight away, I can see that. So that's one to look at if you want to be looking at elements to begin with. The next one, she came on straight afterwards. This is Donna Summer, and I went Sagittarius as soon as I saw her. Lots of different thoughts behind this one. It was the way she moved, because she was confident. She had, well, I guess it's big gestures in the way that she was moving, but this may sound rude, slightly off the beat. And that may sound strange, and it's very subtle to pick up. It's like having the confidence to do it, but then just something slightly uncomfortable about it. And I always think Tina Turner was very similar. You know, the way that she presented herself and her figure, and the Sagittarians tend to be very lean and long limbs and very slim and incredibly attractive. But there was something that was jarring about the way that she danced, which may sound rude, but that's what I noticed. And the same with Donna Summer. The other things that I noticed were far set eyes. I always think Sagittarius with far set eyes, and the larger mouth, just the whole thing was like, you look like my dad's second wife, and she was Sagittarius rising, and she is actually, she's not Sagittarius sun, she's Jupiter conjunct her sun. Jupiter is the planet that rules Sagittarius, that actually, if you do astrology, can make you a little bit more Sagittarius than a Sagittarian. So again, that's how I spotted this one. I think that was mainly it. Yeah, that's what it... And I always think I always feel rude I'm talking about the slightly offbeat bit, but if you think of people that dance, and I think Beyonce, and I'm thinking Usher there's normally an Aquarian, Uranus feel about them, or in their chart, which tends to be, because everything's speeded up. There's a video online which I did about Karen Carpenter's drumming, because it's just on that beat exact, and I always find that interesting. But Sagittarians, their confidence and their enthusiasm, yeah, it just is fantastic. So this was a guy, I've forgotten his name, to be honest. Mansell, Curtis Mansell. And he was, I'd not seen him before, didn't know he was until the weekend. And my husband's watching him because he's from Birmingham. And everybody in Birmingham in the 90s, maybe 80s, wore tight black trousers and looked like this, including my husband, not really, but there is something there because they're both from Birmingham. So he's making me watch this. And my sister's saying, oh yeah, well, this is interesting because he actually went on to write the film score for Requiem of a Dream, is it? Or For a Dream? Anyway, I'm looking at him thinking air because of the delicate face, I suppose, smaller face. If you look at Aretha Franklin's and compare it to this, there's a difference in the shape of the face. not a lot of fat on there, to be honest. But the one I think has got the most leanest look is normally Virgo in the face. They tend to have their skin stuck right onto their bones. But small mouth, small lips, long nose and slightly closer eyes and smaller face. Gemini. I just thought, yeah, you're Gemini. I did actually think Gemini or Aquarius. And there was a more complicated reason for this because it was an interview and he looked as if he was set in what he was saying but didn't know how it was going to be received. He was confident but was avoiding eye contact. And I was thinking, that's air. It could be Aquarius who are fixed in who they are but don't know how they're going to be accepted by others because they can be quite inward at times. Spend a lot of time wondering and thinking. Or Gemini can be just quite nervous. But yeah, he's Gemini, which I suppose you can say. It just looks like me in a wig, to be honest. Okay, so next one is Shriem. Again, looking at this, and if you've been doing astrology for quite a while, you can tend to think, oh, I know that person who looks like that. This gentleman looks like my old school friend who was a Scorpio. So I just said Scorpio straight away. And then I'm trying to think afterwards, why does he appear Scorpio? And this is the best I can do for you. It's because his eyes are deep set, but they are a little, this again, the way I put things sounds rude, beady, a bit birdy, as in very direct and very intense. And this is quite a good picture for that. Yeah, they're small, and you can see the eyelid as well, and they are deep set. So that, and I'm thinking Scorpio looks like my best buddy in school. Deep set eyes can often be a Mercury thing as well. Gemini and Virgo, but they tend to have no eyelid with it, and the eyelid can slightly slant downwards, slightly. So Scorpio, I guess, and anybody with Virgo, Gemini can have deep set eyes, but with Scorpio you can see the eyelid and there's something quite exacting about it. That's the best I can do to explain it. The other thing which Scorpios tend to have can have almost like an eagle, like a beak type nose, where the tip is lower, slightly lower than the nostrils. The other sign that has that, but with totally different eyes, far more watery, as if I'm about to cry eyes, is Pisces. So Pisces and Scorpio can tend to have a nose where the tip is slightly lower. So that's the one, I guess, there. He is Scorpio sun with a Capricorn moon. And I'm trying to guess his ascendant sign because I don't know it. And it's not, you can't find it. I can't find it anyway. This is my guess, Pisces. And I'm going to tell you why I'm guessing, which sounds so silly. This sounds rude and silly. His head is slightly, what I would say is rugby ball shaped, with ears as if they've just been attached on either side. And that does sound rude, but it's a bit like Bert and Ernie. And I'll explain what I mean so it doesn't seem so rude. Daniel Craig, similar shaped head, and there's nothing Scorpio or Capricorn in Daniel's chart, the ascendant, sun or moon. So I'm thinking, okay, Shriem, Pisces rising, because of the similar shaped head, because I know Daniel Craig's Pisces sun. And the other lady I found was Ellen DeGeneres, I can't say that, Pisces rising as well. So I'm guessing Pisces rising from those clues. The other sign that has ears, that actually has ears, but not the same shaped head. It's not as if the head is almost here on sideways, so it's very short. The longer head, but prominent ears that tend to stick out a little bit is Sagittarius as well. If I see that with a slightly longer head, I think, oh, strong Jupiter or Sagittarius. So just sharing my secrets if it's any use. This one is, to me, I love this one, is pouty mouth syndrome. There's a few people I see, and I'm actually got a few since I've actually put this one down, with the mouth that appears as tall as it is wide. Kanye West is one. And again, that's another way. And I think each sign can be put into like 4 or 5 different categories, but another way to try and think, okay, that could be Pisces. That is possible as well. For instance, Kanye West is Pisces sun, I think. Is Pisces sun or moon? I think sun. Elvis, the same mouth, very succulent, very, it's short, isn't it? It is as tall as it is wide. Pisces moon. And not such a great example, but one I thought of as soon as I saw the other two was Drew Barrymore, Pisces Sun. So that is just a different way to spot different signs. And as you say, each sign probably has about 3, 4, 5 different categories, whether it is the shape of the head or the mouth or, anything else there. So what was my next one? Oh, this made me laugh. I don't know who this guy is. I know that he's famous, and I know that I've seen him on TV about 4 months ago, and I think he was a drummer of a band. It could have been Led Zeppelin, I can't remember. And I thought, oh my God, that's George Clooney with a wig. So I guessed Taurus straight away. The reason that I'm guessing that is the heavy set brow, normally stronger features, strong facial features, can be slightly feminine but masculine at the same time, because they tend to have like long eyelashes as well. But it's the mouth. Taurians tend to have bigger lips and a top lip that goes down in the middle. Can you see it just like scoops down the middle? And sometimes there's a little beak at the end of that. So I just said Taurus. I can't remember his name, but I know I was right. I can't remember if it was Sun or Moon, but I thought, oh yeah, I can see that one. And here we have George Clooney. This isn't his best picture, but it's a good picture of his mouth. Mouths are big, Taurian. The features are heavy, and again, there's something feminine about the features. George Clooney's eyes are very feminine, but he's got Pluto. Strong Pluto is opposite his ascendant, I think. But you can see there the heaviness of the face and the lip that almost beakies down in the centre with the Cupid's bow quite prominent as well. I'm going to say something rude here. It's an indication of how my mind remembers things rather than trying to be rude. But when I think of Taurians, I've obviously read something. I think I've read this to kids in school when I was talking about camels in the desert. And we were saying that camels have really big, thick lips so they can eat the thorns from the bushes in the desert. And that's what I think of when I think of Taurus. That's how I remember it. I don't mean to be rude, but just different things make me remember different things. Leveson Wood. This is a guy who he's an ex-SAS maybe, and he does programs on walking the Himalayas and walking the Nile. And I always think, take me with you every time I see them. Again, another Taurus. Not such a strong example, but another one that I guess straight away. I think he's Taurus Moon or Sun, not sure which one, but definitely one of those. The mouth isn't as prominent, but they tend to be good looking, Taurians. You just see them and you think, oh yeah, good looking. Yeah, another one. I don't know if you can see it in there. I can see it a little bit, but not strong as these two. Okay, last one, very obvious a Taurian to me. Spitting image of my daughter's friend who was Taurus in school. This is Clyde Barrow from Bonnie and Clyde. Again, heavy set features. It's got a quite big nose, isn't he? I don't know. It's just heavier. It's just fleshy and heavier. Fleshy lips. Eating those thistles. Again, another one that I guessed. I think that is it. That's what I've got. That's what I do at the weekend. I sit there, only for like 5-10 minutes, and I'm there trying to guess, and then I look at people's charts. And my husband, and I always say this, he's not interested in astrology at all, but he sat next to me for so long thinking, shut up. But he's pretty good at guessing as well. And I always think it's just absolutely fascinating, really fascinating, to think that when you are in your mum's tummy, there are elements at work there that we don't quite understand that are actually affecting how you will look physically, not just your face, but your figure as well. And I always end my readings like this because it really interests me. If that is so, that we can see the energetic makeup of people in their features, what else is going on that we just haven't really got that stuck into yet. So I'm going to leave you with that, and I hope that helps. Please put in the comment section below anything that you've noticed in anybody that you know that we've discussed here, or anybody that you sit at weekends and try and find out that you've discovered. I would really, really would like to know. Thanks for spending your time with me. Bye.